What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we're going to be jumping into X-Force issue number 2, and the brand new X-Force team is made up of Forge, Sage, Tank, Captain Britain, Rachel Summers, and Surge. With Forge more or less leading this team, he had supercharged his abilities. He created what he calls the Analog. This is a device that identifies world-ending problems, and he assembled the X-Force to solve these problems. On their first mission, the team encountered Surge. Surge was already out there trying to protect civilians. Discovering that Deadpool's cancer was toxic to the monster, Forge fed him, recruiting Surge onto the team as they head off on their next mission, which brings them to Wakanda. So, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we hop into this issue, we're picking up over Central Africa. We have the entire team that is now preparing for their jump into Wakanda, discussing what they're doing and how the Analog points this to world-breaking events before they have a chance to spiral out of control. But they have to be fast and surgical. There is no time to ask for permission. There is no time to negotiate. Now, Sage has been against this idea of just trying to walk into Wakanda, that it's reckless, suicidal at worst. And as she says these words, things start to go sideways. In a split second, the entire jet is blown to pieces. Our heroes are all safe, but they are now falling down to the ground. Both Rachel and Betsy, something happens to their magic, almost as if something is electrifying them. The same thing happens to both Tank and Surge. Luckily, they have the suits that they're wearing, so this allows them to be able to land on the ground and not just simply fall to their death. But with Forge and Sage regrouping, scattered pieces of the jet in all directions. Forge does know that the Analog is showing that they are inside the fracture, that it has already begun. As they try to figure out where everybody else went, they don't have to look far. They are quickly surrounded by Wakandans. More than that, their entire team has been taken over. Forge and Sage, they hightail it out of here as Forge begins to work on some camouflage. They're trying to figure out why all of their friends are under some kind of mind control. Betsy had mentioned it was a spell before she was fully taken over, a change spell. The magic that makes her Captain Britain fought against this, and it lost. For some reason, Sage and Forge are immune. No matter what this is, Forge knows that he's got to get back to his workbench. Unfortunately, his workbench was on the jet. And so while Sage actually tries to come up with a plan, we see that Forge just simply disappears. In a matter of moments, Sage finds herself surrounded, Wakandans speaking in an ancient language of theirs. She surrenders herself, and in doing so, she finds herself in front of a man that calls himself Black Panther. Now, Sage has met T'Challa. She knows that this man is not him, but what she does see is the Anansi drum, something that was said to be myth. She knows that a Wakandan royal would never display this drum like this. She doesn't claim to understand the drum. She does know that it's magic. The spider god had made the drum to trap his sister. It's supposedly made of stories, though she doesn't understand how that is possible. But this man, Niketi, believes that he is the spellmaster, that each time he plays it, the magic spreads. By tomorrow, it will have spread through all of Wakanda, and soon, the world. That there is no one that could stand against them. Nothing can resist this magic. And so Sage makes her move. She makes her getaway. The first one to catch up with her is Surge. Now, she had put all the data into her goggles, so when Surge catches up, she grabs hold of Surge, throws the goggles onto her. This is more or less able to break the magical spell, but Sage's mind is going crazy now. All of the data that is in her brain, she can't process it, but she is able to get out, letting her know that she's got to get the goggles to Forge. The Forge will understand what needs to happen. With the goggles guiding Surge in the right direction, she is able to meet up with Forge, finding that the jet is currently in self-repair. reassembling at 78%. She takes the goggles and throws them onto Forge. This is where he understands everything. Sage's mutant ability protects her. The analog protects Forge. Understanding what he needs to do, he returns. He finds the Black Panther, or the man that calls himself Black Panther, letting him know that the thing about magic is that it has its own, really, rules. It has to assert its own rules to overwrite what's already there. And this works in small doses, but when magic tries to shove reality out completely, it just doesn't take much to restart the board. Taking the analog orb and touching it to the drum, there is a giant surge of magic. The magical effects met a ball of hyperphysics, and this sealed the fracture, with the Wakandans deciding that they're not gonna arrest Forge and X-Force, but letting them know that if they ever do show up again, they're gonna end up in a cell. When the team goes on to ask how the ship is self-repairing itself, really it simply comes down to Forge got sick and tired of having to build new jets. Theirs got blown up so often, he decided, I'm just going to make a jet that self-repairs. And that's exactly what he did. With it now being fully repaired, they're headed to Cambodia because they must confront the Walking Man. And that will be the end of this issue. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. To be honest, I'm not really feeling this story. It feels very rushed. I don't really feel like I'm connecting with any of the characters in any significant way, even though I do love a lot of these characters. The substance isn't there. Like, is this all this is going to be? Is X-Force running around with a little ball, sealing quote-unquote fractures, sometimes as easily as touching the ball to a magical device, and your problem solved? I don't know, it doesn't feel like a great story. Now, it is an X title, isn't it? It is X-Force, so I really want to give it the opportunity to maybe flush out this story, so we're going to give it a couple issues. We're going to see how this goes. I'm hoping that this picks up. I'm hoping it gets better. I'm hoping that there's a bigger, deeper story here than hopping from one giant event to another and never really doing much of anything. This team, this whole idea has a lot of potential. I'm worried that it's just not going to be utilized in the right way. But I am always down to see Forge come up with new inventions. His mutant ability is so awesome, so unique, having a passive mutant ability that no matter what you face, no matter the technology, no matter how advanced it may be, even like Wakanda, he can create something better if he is facing a challenge needing to overcome their technology. All in all, this is a okay comic. Definitely not one I'm telling anybody to rush out and buy. If you like X-Force, if you like some of these characters, it might be something you're interested in. Like I said, we're going to give it a couple more issues. We're going to see how it goes before we decide if it's something we're going to continue on with or it's something we may drop. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that is going on with X-Force or the X titles, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you getting tons of perks in the process, you are helping out the channel tremendously. If you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.